My name is Ruth R. Ruth wasn't my mother's first idea. She wanted to call me Judith, but was overruled by her mother, who predicted that Judith would be forever foreshortened to Judy. Now, maybe being called after Judy Garland wouldn't be a bad thing, but at the time, Judy was also the title of a teenage girl's weekly magazine. My grandmother couldn't face the idea that I would be named for a comic book. So I became Ruth, which alliterates nicely with Riddick, a last name that didn't appeal to my maternal grandmother either, but that's another story. Yes, I'm Irish. If you don't know me, you still hear Dublin City in my voice. At heart, I'm a city girl. It's no accident that I now live in New York City, the greatest city in the world. I have some fancy letters after my name. I'm a certified addiction recovery coach, or CARC, a certification conferred by the New York Certification Board at ASAP. This voluntary certification advises stakeholders like you that in the board's opinion, I'm a competent and ethical professional with a transparent and accountable practice in the recovery coach role. You can check out what that means by visiting the asapnys.org website. And I'm designated a recovery coach professional by the Connecticut Community for Addiction Recovery, and I'm a member of CCAR's International Association of Recovery Coach Professionals. My academic degree is in philosophy, but we don't talk about that in polite company. What good did philosophy ever do you? The skeptical ask, to which I always respond, don't get me started. I'm known mostly for my work as community outreach for the New York Certification Board at ASAP, a role to which I was appointed 6 years ago. This role is a huge part of my relatively new involvement in the peer recovery profession. Of course, I've been offering professional recovery coaching and training for a decade. To me, an oasis was a watering hole in the middle of the desert. I had a lot to learn. The Irish have a phrase, it's a long road that has no turning. Sure, it's a metaphor, but we mean it literally too. Many of our roads are twisty, and we delight in offering something called the scenic route, which is code for the longest, but usually prettiest road between where you are now and where you want to go. Navigating the road of life with all its twists and turns and bypasses and dead ends and, yes, its many scenic drives. Navigating the road is, of course, the great privilege gifted to all of us. For many of us, this gift comes with a lot of misleading signposts, but we make the journey nonetheless. Years ago, my fellow Dubliner, the mid-century movie star Maureen O'Hara, signed a photo to me wishing me a happy career. It was a radical wish for a girl in the Ireland of my childhood. Girls were expected to be either wives and mothers or nuns. O'Hara's glamorous success was presumed to be beyond a reasonable expectation for the rest of us. The watershed moment for me was when I discovered that, while I'm a born performer, I didn't want to be an actress. I'd worked professionally in the theatre since my teens, and you will find evidence buried in the Irish Theatre Archive. But at some point it became clear to me that I wanted to write my own scripts. For all the fun of being encased up to my chin in sand on stage, I wanted the words to be mine, not Samuel Beckett's. And of course, wouldn't you know, he's another Dubliner. So I became a crisis intervention coach and a trainer. Is that an intuitive move, you ask? Well, let's think about it. Coaching is all about making the same connection with clients as a theatre actress makes with her audience in real time. In both cases, you feel this connection in the energy between you. You know immediately when you're losing it, and how to work to get it back. Training, meanwhile, is also a performance, involving improvisation as needed. I never aspired to writing actual plays for the theatre, but I've been writing training programs for decades. What did I learn from this? Quite simply, if we pay attention to what energizes us, we will find an environment in which to deploy our abilities to maximum effect. Whoever we are, whatever the circumstances of our individual lives, we all have unique talents, interests, and skills. The world needs each of us and will make space for us when we show up. This is true even after our roadmaps fail us. There's still a through line that maps our integrity. Addiction is most assuredly a dead end, but we can get back to navigating by our own North Star. It's what we mean by recovery. The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administration, SAMHSA, defines recovery as a process of change through which individuals improve their health and wellness, live a self-directed life, and strive to reach their full potential. I added recovery to my coaching and training practice only after I'd stopped drinking and only after a break. I needed those first years to rebuild my mind, my body, and my spirit from the ravages of alcoholism. I now understand that I was building my recovery capital. We didn't yet have that language. I was practicing a new level of personal and professional commitment, reaffirming a personal vision for how I would bring my energy to my role in life, whatever that might turn out to be in this new pathway. I was building my understanding that recovery is as central to every part of my life as my other talents and skills. Moving forward, I finally decided my work could revolve around recovery. At the same time, the recovery movement, under the leadership of such organizations and individuals as the Connecticut Community for Addiction Recovery, and Phil Valentine and William White, and the McShin Foundation, named for veteran advocates Carol McDade and John Shinholzer, is identifying parameters of what we now call the peer recovery profession, which I serve. In summary, recovery has strengthened and expanded my career-long commitment to the principle that human beings ourselves are the authorities on our own lives. Yes, my philosophy thesis way back when was titled An Investigation into the Moral Authority of Women. I've been thinking about these issues for a long time. Recovery liberates us to best implement only those solutions that work for us, to recalibrate the well-intended suggestions of helping professionals as we need. For those of us who are coaches, our role is to facilitate the client-directed change process, wherever it may lead. As trainers, these are the foundational principles we teach. I'm so grateful that the long and winding road of my life has brought me into this room with all of you, friends and colleagues to be. I look forward to seeing you again in the field, or not. Whatever you assess in your recovery capital-rich life is right for your energy and your integrity. Finally, I'm recording this message on the very day that my long-term AA sponsor celebrates 24 years of continuous sobriety. Whatever service I offer the recovery community today, I owe to her loving grounding in life principles, to her mothering. I salute her and I salute you. Ganairi live. Good luck.